Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Our Lives, Beginnings and Always. Today we're going to be doing the wedding, finally doing the wedding ceremony. And possibly, if we have enough time, we'll do the reception. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so let's get started. Yep, okay. Get this loaded in here. Take your one and come on. Come on. There we go. What's going on? I don't know what happened. Yes, return to the menu. Load. There. Did we... Something went wrong here. Give me a moment here. Something went wrong. I gotta find out what went wrong. Okay. I thought I was like two things came on there. Two things of our life came on there. It's weird. Okay. I believe we're good now, so let's go. And anyway, yeah, I wrote down my vowels. As I said, I was going to write them down on paper first before I type them. When it comes to doing the vowels here for Cove. So, anyway, let's get the keyboard out here and we'll get started. So when that part comes up, I will probably type it out first, and then I will read it out to you. Poppy Hill, the quiet little literal backdrop of your childhood, forever nested behind the home you grew up in, and now the place where you've found a sad little wavy brown eyebrowed boy years ago. The distant scent of sea carried up the wind mixed with the gentle floral fragrance from the poppies. It was comfort you couldn't get anywhere else. The ceremony decorations considered only a white arch on the crest of the hill, but it didn't need anything more than that. Your hill was perfect, just the way it was. Chippy, your planner had immediately been informed of your arrival and came to greet you right on schedule. He looks really handsome too. Can't wait till his DLC comes out, then we can actually get with him. We'll probably do Derek first, and then we'll do Baxter. But we'll see how it goes. It also depends on which DLC gets released first. I mean, if it's Baxter, then obviously we're gonna do Baxter. But if it's just Derek gets released first, then we'll go with that. So. Yeah, I read this part already. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you again. And so, soon after after the last time, he tilted his head on your direction, casually while chuckling. As simple as the comment was, you laughed along easily. It was a wonderful day, and every second was one to enjoy. Why does it look like he's got like an evil look or something? Or, what are you up to, Baxter? Weird look. Then all presence of casualness for the day left. Baxter posed. A bright fire lit up his dark cheeks.
Now,
it's showtime. Let's get into our proper positions. Oh, now he looks normal. The wedding parties are being led up to the front, where they'll stand by while guests are getting directed to open places to stand in the audience area. Chippy, please go back further with me so you can be ready for the aisle walk. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to be walking down the aisle while Cove waits for us at the altar. Or arch, I should say. You also might see Cove too easily if you stay here. So we can't dally. Sucking in a full breath, you let yourself be led away by Baxter. You only had to hold on a little longer than you'd get to see him. You and your planner went back down the bend, and there was eager hastiness to your paces. A corner was turned, separating you off from the main scene.
does that sound alright?
Wait here for the music cue, then you can walk. Okay? Alright. It's gonna be the best walk anyone of those people have ever seen. Good luck, Chippy. I'll congratulate you when it's over. He grinned coyly before leaving you there. He had to handle more of the arrangements behind the scenes so that you and Cove could have your spotlights. While standing alone, footprints, the distant chatter of a crowd, and your own heartbeat pattered in your ears. Your eyes closed as you strained to hear the cue above the rest of the noise. But there was no need. You knew the moment had arrived when everything in the distance went silent. It even felt as though your heart froze in place. Not wanting to be the one thing to interrupt, the first note was struck. Then was all you needed to move forward. You began to walk to where you knew he would be. You came back around the way you placed yourself in the spot you had first been in upon arrival. The very start of the aisle. A tiny but monumentous journey was in front of you. Oh my God, he's gorgeous. And I love the white suit. Oh my God. He looks so good in it. I mean, when you guys say so, I mean, feel free to comment. I mean, he looks gorgeous. Oh my God. You lifted your gaze to the end of it all, past the flowers, the guests, and everything else that was between you and your destination. At long last, you'd been anticipating came to be. You saw him again waiting for you, ready to marry you. Is he turning up? Oh, poor Cove. It's weddings can be a little sad, but happy sad, of course. Cove Holden. The last rung, especially strongly in your mind, because it was a name you would share. He was breathtaking, I'll say. Oh, he's crying. He's got tears coming down his cheeks. Yeah, it's okay, Cove. I know. He was right there, with shaking legs and crystal clear blue eyes dripping with heavy tears. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the last one. You had to resist the urge to run down the aisle. I mean, this is the moment we've been waiting for, obviously. You watched as his mouth opened, then closed, as if he was speaking directly to you. He was much too far away, though he was too much far away for you to know what the words were. The crowd was full of joyous smiles and loving glances, but no one made a move to distract you or Cove away from each other. You wouldn't have noticed if they had tried. All you were aware of in the entire world was the fact that every step brought you nearer to him. Excuse me, I'm drinking some water. Step by airlight step, you fluttered along. Nothing couldn't prevented you from relishing your crossing. He looks so gorgeous, I swear. And that smile. Again, I love that smile. With each frolicking footfall, Cove shivered anew. He was excited to be there with you, but potentially remained where he was supposed to. You didn't keep him waiting. When you arrived at the end of the aisle, you immediately came to stand face to face in front of Cove. Softly, Cove lips parted again, and finally that time you knew what it was. Your name. Chippy. He shifted the bouquet's weight over so he could use one hand to caress your cheek. He brought his head lower to be closer to yours, his fingers advancing further to touch the edge of your ears. I would probably, yeah, tears of joy begin to fall from your eyes. It is an emotional time. It couldn't be helped. The delicate way to be he held you had made your emotions swell more. My foot itches too. Oh man. Sorry about that. No, he's right in front of us, ain't he? Or we're right in front of him. He's up closer now to us, I guess. Hush came over the crowd as the justice of the peace began to speak. It was time. The ceremony speech flowed over you. You listened to each word, but sentences faded out of focus the second they had passed. It was like being in a comfortable dream. There was a safe sense of distance from the world as your consciousness drifted around within it. What did break through to you were Cove's bashful gestures, shuffling feet, quivering eyes, playable, nervous energy that was barely swallowed down. Not one single moment went by unnoticed before you could completely lose yourself in Cove's gaze. Your attention crystallized in an instant. The justice of the peace had said vows. Okay. Yeah, the justice of the peace had said vows. It struck Cove as well because his knees visibly locked from underneath him. In slow motion, he began to tip backwards. No, love those eyes too. You instinctively grabbed onto his wrists, pulled on his sleeves, and in an attempt to keep your beloved from leaning further, numerous sets of arms rose from all around, as both of your wedding parties posed themselves to catch Cove if he fell their way. Derek took an extra step further by actually stepping forward. He made certain he could get hold of his friend if he came down. Cove remained control of his legs and caught himself by anchoring back the ball of his right foot. He kept that firmly planted. He was still absorbed in the moment that the notion to be embarrassed by his near faint didn't take up any space in his mind. It was as if it hadn't happened, at least for Cove. The justice of the peace, however, lifted a brow assessing if your groom was physically capable of completing the ceremony. For all his trembling, Cove stood stiffly, a pillar that could not be moved. It was enough to appease your justice of the peace into continuing. The couple has chosen to prepare their own vows, and they will share them now. Okay. I'm going to get up here so I can type it out when it comes up for me to type it into. So give me a moment. Excuse me. Keyboard up here. There we go. Okay. Get in here. Make sure I have it all right here. I think I misspelled something on here, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, alright. Ouch. Alright. Get this out here. Okay. Put it up there when I'm ready for it. Okay. He took a long breath through his nose. After so much build up to the wedding and all the effort that it took to create it, this was the final hurdle for him. Articulating his deepest feelings about you out loud. Cove looked into your blue eyes, searching for the words he needed. You waited, impressing as much encouragement as you could into your gaze. Finally, Cove began his vows. Chippy, we met when we were 8 years old. I had just moved to Sunset Bird with my dad. I saw you the first day I was there. You changed everything in my life. You were the person I needed when I was so little and so lonely. You still are the one I need right now. Every far-off image playing out of his mind brought further joy to Cove's features. He laughed nostalgically. You didn't let me get away with being selfish when I would act out. You were there for me when I was actually upset.
Thank you.
I got to have a childhood thanks to you. You didn't let me lose it all because I was sad. I had someone I could make those memories I cherished with. Watching the clouds and everything else.
I'm so glad.
I'm still amazed how we kind of got together when we were just 13. He tugged his collar while bouncing on his feet. The expect picture of giddy schoolboy. Well, of a giddy schoolboy. We kissed and it was wonderful. But even still, then puberty happened, so many things seemed harder than before. I'm definitely glad you were around to help me survive it all. Especially in my hindsight, painfully obvious crush on you that felt unbearable to me. And I bet it was probably frustrating to everyone who was watching, too. I could barely manage sitting next to you on a bed and sharing a smoothie with you. Thank God that hormonal nightmare didn't screw things up for me. Genuine relief came out of Cove in a sigh. But I don't know how I was supposed to act normal when you'd look at me so nicely with such beautiful eyes. He began to get taken into them as he spoke it, his own eyes growing hazy and his smile wobbling. Cove shook his head to force himself out of the self-inflicted trance. That was the time I started speaking out to visit you through the window. I wanted to be with you when I was happy or when something was wrong. I couldn't stay away. Lucky for me, you didn't mind spending your days or nights in my company. With a light touch of wistfulness, Cove recalled experience after experience from those years. Going on the trips together, big ones and small ones. Just hanging around our houses and the neighborhood, talking about who we were as people. And that time, there was a sun shower. Excuse me. We stuck together during parties. Excuse me. And you could even make it fun for someone as socially awkward as I am. As he continued to reminisce, he chuckled aberrantly. Aberrantly, something like that.
Well,
And I started getting closer with your family too. Well, at least your mom's. Elizabeth wasn't exactly interested in being good friends when we were teens. I appreciated that you always put up with my parents and their wild plans. By the way, Cove ran a hand down his face tiredly through the amused smile on his face wasn't wiped away. And speaking of wild plans, I sure got upset when you told me about how my dad offered you $20 to be friends when we were kids. Huh.
that's...
I feel bad now that I yelled at him. He wasn't trying to make things worse. It just meant a lot to me that the relationship between us was our own. I hated thinking about all the things outside of my control. All the ways the world was bigger than I knew. But I'm glad that I had the chance to talk to him about it in the end, and that we got to talk about it too. Thanks for being honest about it.
I remember.
I can still remember how badly I wanted to be grown up as an awkward tween. Okay. I don't know why it says tween. Shouldn't it be teen? I don't know. Then suddenly we graduated high school. It really was time to be an adult. Getting my first job, taking my first long drive without parents, accepting how small or little town was in the grand scheme of things. Just trying to figure out what I was even going to do with my life. I was lost, and all I wanted was to make sure I didn't lose what mattered when things had to change. Most of all, you. You were my special someone. That was when I had fallen in love with you. You were the first person I was able to open up to about my sexuality when I finally knew for sure that what that was. And you were the one who helped me keep it together when I was overthinking things. His speech of all that he treasured about you went on in an interrupted stream. He couldn't stop himself. I could talk to you about anything, like the accident when I got my scar. I knew you would understand. And as mundane and drugging adult stuff could be, I had a source of relief from it because you had been around. You'd let me have taste of your food, and you always gave the best gifts. You love me even though I'm not a cool merman who would take you on a magical adventure.
Thanks for waiting for me.
And you lived with how long it took for me to be able to do anything romantic. I was feeling a lot and didn't do great at managing it, but I was so clingy too. I never wanted to be apart then. I think I'm a little more of a big boy about it now, maybe.
Huh.
You just. He at long last stopped to breath before his emotion driven attempt to convey himself. Uh, he get, he long last stopped his breath before his emotion-driven attempt to convey himself continued in full force. Excuse me. You make me happy in ways no one else ever could. And well, a lot has happened, huh? We're definitely adults. We're at our own wedding.
It's okay.
We made it through it all. All the months and months growing up. And through making this day happen. With how nervous I was, I think I might have worried the planner that I would convince you to elope and just get away from it all. But you took the pressure in stride. I love that you're so reassuring. You're such an admirable human being. It was the happiest moment of my life when you proposed to me. Until now, anyway. I couldn't believe you wanted to be with me as much as I wanted to be with you. It was the happiest moment of my life when you accepted my proposal until now, anyway. I couldn't believe you wanted to be with me as much as I wanted to be with you. Okay. Give me a moment. I gotta go use the restroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'm back. I don't want to try and imagine how many tears you've wiped away for me in all these years. You helped me have the confidence to grow into a man, and you can still make me feel like a kid again. With you, nothing ever really ends. It just begins again in a new way. And basically, what I'm trying to say is no matter how hard I try, and I can never thank you enough for being mine and letting me be yours. Cove wept heavily, no longer able to stay above the wave of emotions that opening himself up so fully had wrought.
I love you.
I love you so much, Chippy. And he futilely wiped the sleeve against his eyes. Every tear the fabric caught was immediately replaced. Those are my vials. I don't know. I don't how you're supposed to end them. I hope you'll marry me. Of course, Cove. That's why we're here. You struggle to keep your own feelings in check. And you shed a tear. Thank you, Cove. And Chippy, you may say yours. Okay. Boy. Okay. Yep. Okay. There we go. Alright. That should be right there. Okay. The justice of the peace had all but disappeared from your mind. All that you had been aware of was Cove, but that request couldn't be ignored. Okay. Now you would have to take on the endeavor of explaining how everything Cove was to you and everything he'd been to you throughout knowing him almost your entire life. You chose to say, Hmm. Uh, I promise. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Don't we get to type our own in here? That's not what I thought. Okay. Hmm. Now I have to pick something out of here. Oh. Okay. I promise to cherish everything you've given me. Okay. To never stop to make you happy. Shadow collection. Okay. Or we're gonna be sharing that anyway, regardless. And that's the first one. Is like to share our my shell collection. Well, we're gonna be sharing that anyway. So, okay, what to say? To comfort you when your anxieties make you scared. Okay. Uh, oh, to still love you even as we both continue to grow and change. Of course. To wait as long as you need for anything. Uh, we can be kind of jokingly about it too. To go along with your spontaneous dawn adventures. Why not? To always leave a window open for you. Why not? We'll throw that in there. To wipe your tears when they fall. And along with that, okay. The last thing I wanted to say is who you are to me. You are my precious ocean boy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm the luckiest person in the world that I get to say that. Oh my God. Cove covered his face with trembling hands. He was murmuring, crying, and all around to pass out again. Your justice of the peace nodded contently, accepting those vows as your sworn oath to your very nearly husband. Cove Holden. Do you take Chippy Prince to be your lawfully wedded husband? Well, I guess it's not going to let me type in the stuff, so I'll just go with what they got. You know, I'll go with what they got. All right, I'm going to pull this keyboard out so I can get comfortable and finish this. But I think all in all, it went well. It's gonna go well. It's gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be fine. Cove Holden, do you take Chippy Prince to be your lawfully wedded husband? Let him he let his hands fall, ready to face you directly. Cove's shaking, dripping wet eyes strays locked to yours. And with the confidence of a man who'd been waiting for this moment for years, he answered with complete sincerity. I don't know, I may be getting emotional for real, so excuse me if I do. It is emotional. I mean, there's a lot of things in here in the past that have been emotional, that just brings out a lot of emotions, and that's one of the things that I really like about this visual novel, is it does bring out a lot of emotions, and yeah.
I do.
It was absolutely heart-stopping, but your turn to respond had come. And do you, Chippy Prince, take Cove Holden to be your lawfully wedded husband? Yep. The third one. I do. Cole's smile was radiant, and his tears were constant. You'd sincerely made him happier than anything ever had. That made him happier than anything ever had. Okay. Your maid of honor and Cove's best man stepped forward. They held out a small box that contained a wedding band. Cove's hands shook as he reached for the tiny treasure chest with a focused furrow to his brow. He accepted the platinum ring, and the purple amethyst sparkled generously in the light. You gladly offered your hand to Cove. He cradled it gently in one of his own. For a few seconds, all he could do was stare at your skin. Cove was so still for a moment, but then he used his free hand to bring the band towards your fingertip. I'm trying not to cry. Ugh. Ugh. It's an emotional moment. Oh, it's pretty too. Too bad there's not a way I can take a picture of this. There's no. I don't see a way to take a picture of it. I wonder if I could save it and then maybe take a picture of it. I don't know. I'll try that. We'll save it. Sit right there. Maybe I can take a picture of it later somehow. We'll see. He carefully slid the ring to its proper place on your finger. Your gaze locked onto it, utterly amazed. Swelling thickly, Cove raised his hand out for you. You held it in return, and bruised your thumb across his brushed your thumb across his palm. It was your turn. You received the matching ring from its box. It slid into Cove's finger beautifully. He gasped under his breath, fixating on the ring. You tenderly squeezed his hand, and Cove finally met your eyes again. His cheeks held you with electrifying stare. You were in awe of the whole moment. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of California, I pronounce you husband and husband. You may now kiss. Yes. Yes. Cole's knees may have started knocking together once more, but his gaze was nothing but eager. You reach for each other in a loving kiss. His lips brushed against yours ever so sweetly. He indulged in the touch of caressing your cheeks. At the same moment, you leaned into the touch welcomely. So emotional. Yeah, I'm gonna have to blow my nose. Give me a moment. Sorry. Well, I don't even know why I'm saying sorry. I mean, It's emotional. Sorry. I'm dying. Why am I even saying I'm sorry? Forget it. You know? Oh well. Okay. We read this part, right? Yeah, okay. This time it's not allergies, it's just emotions. At least. The beautiful flowers of Cove's bouquet tickled against your skin as Cove's body pressed up against you. After your faces shifted away just a hair's breadth so you could see one another fully, his expression was wholly adoring, and you could still feel his warmth lingering. The crowd erupted with cheers and applause around you. Giddy, you ducked your head towards Cove's shoulder and laughed. Oh, and there goes all the confetti. All around you, confetti rained down like delicate flower petals. Your smile widened, watching your friends and family excitedly throw it in the air in celebration. Peeking over at Cove, you realized that he was barely paying attention to the jubilance around you both. Instead, his gaze was solely fixated on you. Oh, damn. Okay. Let's see. What do we pick here? Oh, he's gonna carry us through over the threshold. Yes, he scooped you into his arms. The corner of his mouth pulled into a bent smile. Then Cove swept you off your feet. You giggled while he secured his hold on you. Beaming, you loosely wrapped your arms around his neck. His skin reddened, and you took the opportunity to rest a hand on his cheek and plant a kiss on the other one. You went down the aisle gleefully as you passed by your friends and family. You caught several thumbs up and proud nods and cheery waves. Some were even still clapping, sniffling your vision threatened to fill with tears as after witnessing more than a handful of people dabbing their eyes with tissues. Then you briefly came close enough to Mr. Holden. He patted Cove on the shoulder despite his weepy expression. You could tell that he had the greatest pride for his son. You kissed Cove on the cheek. Driven by the absolute joy of the day, your hand slipped up to cup his jaw, and Cove understood that you had what you had in mind. You pressed a big kiss on his cheek. Then then shared a quiet, close moment. Stared up at him through your eyelashes. After leaving the ceremony in late afternoon, it was time for wedding photos. You and Cove met up with the wedding party and the photographer while the other guests headed over to the reception spot. The excursion was filled with fun, laughter, while the photographer set out to get the ideal shots. Cove lovingly held your face, not afraid to show his affection in front of the camera for a change. His thumb brushed lightly across your cheek, and then he pressed his forehead to yours. His breath was warm on your skin, and you closed your eyes shut to relish in his love. When he pulled away, you were speechless, but you also had a feeling that it was going to be one of the best shots of the lot. When the sun began to set about an hour later, you knew it was time to rejoin with everyone else. And so you eagerly got back into the car again to finally see the second location. Okay, so this is the reception. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. So yeah, so that we can do the reception separately. And anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Save it right there. So, thanks again for watching on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. And for those of you who haven't done so already, let me know in the comments section of what you think of Cove's look with this white suit of his. I mean, you can't say he's not handsome. Oh my God, he's handsome. He looks so good. He looks so good in the suit. Leave your comments, whatever you want to comment about this wedding. I would love to hear from you guys. So yeah, I already saved it. So, oh yeah, don't forget to check out my Patreon, my Patreon, and become a Patreon contributor. For those of you who want to receive copies of any uncensored videos, you need to either become a member on the $9 tier or the $25 tier. And you can find the link to my Patreon within the description area. And always remember that all the funds that go directly to charity. It doesn't come to me; it just goes directly to charity. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And I will see you guys later.